J.R. Bang, the director of content for Urban One and Reach Media, and I am excited to have this conversation with somebody that, you know, I am very familiar with, you know, during my time in Chicago. I know I had went away for a little bit, but when I went away, it seems like not only he went away, but he ended up getting awards and platinum plaques and all of that, man. I got my man Nascent up here. How you doing?
What up, bro? I'm good, man. You know, just here grinding, trying to just, you know, get ready for this album to come out for real.
Well, first off, you know, because of the familiarity, I want
Right.
to congratulate you.
I appreciate
Like I
you,
said,
bro.
I
Thank you.
remember seeing you come up there with Rob and everybody up at WindyCityUnderground.com and all of that, and seeing what you was doing back at home, back here in Chicago. And then you go over to LA, you know, you're working with all of these people, and now you are Grammy Award-winning producer. How does that feel? First of all, I want to know, how does that feel when people acknowledge you? They have to put that in front of
I put that,
the
yeah.
acknowledgement.
I mean, it's cool, man. It's a little cherry on top. You feel me? But like, we know why we do this, and you know, and so it's just cool to be recognized. I think everybody wants to be recognized for their work, but sometimes in our line of work, we be acting too cool. Like, man, like, you know, we be like, man, we don't care about the Grammys and this and that, but you do. You need a hug. You know what I'm saying? And you need somebody like, it's just all right, bro. We all want to be recognized, and this is the only way, right? Or one of the ways that we can get recognized. So it's cool, man. I'm very grateful for it, for real.
All right, let's get to the album, man. Don't Grow Up Too Soon. I saw and shared the video that you had posted up on social. Like, tell us the meaning around that video and how it pertains to this particular project.
Well, Don't Grow Up Too Soon is a conceptual album. You know, it's about really just healing your inner child. And it's like, when I was I knew I wanted to name my second album this, because I already had it in mind, because really it's the name of my company too. So it's like, you know, it's something that I wanted to do, but I had to wait for the right time to do it. Like, I had to actually live through that. You feel me? Actually, like, go through those things in order for me to be able to come out with something that's authentic. Because y'all gonna know when it's some fool, when it's real, like when it's, you know what I'm saying, when it's authentic or not. And it's like, I don't, you know, I put this first because I respect the art too much to be playing around with it. So and honestly, I think that given the concept, it's a little bit, it could be a fine line between being corny.
Right. Well,
as far as hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna get this concept off and then not be like, all right, like, you try to preach too much, because music gotta be fun.
Yeah. Now, I will be open and honest here. Like, the last about 5 months, I've been in therapy.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I learned in therapy is how I grew up fast. So even when I look at my son, my oldest son, he's 9. Like, that's one of the things that I find myself saying to him more often than not. Don't grow up too soon.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up very fast. And in Chicago, you have no choice in some cases, depending on where you grow up at.
And that was and that was kind of like also the other angle from it too, is that some of us didn't have the luxury of having a childhood or having to grow up too quick. So it's like, you don't want to ever forget about that, and about that, because there's something about that energy that's very like, it's pure, right? But it's like you're always like exploring. You're always like you're it's just like, it's something about the energy that you want to still at least pull from and have it there, you know, because you can't be green either. You feel me? You gotta know your surroundings. You gotta know, depending where you're from, you gotta know what's going on. But like, it's important to not neglect that. And also, sometimes like, fear will make you think that something bigger than it really is, and it's not. And that's why I have that little monster in the front cover, because that's like it symbolizes that, like, once you go in there and you see it's not that, it ain't that scary, and you know, but that's just fear though.
And listening to the album, I love the vibe. Like,
appreciate it.
Don't get me wrong, I like to turn up. I still like to turn up. I'm still going to have that in mind, but I do like the vibe. Like, you kicking it off with the Ab Soul track.
Yeah.
For me especially, I felt like in my state of mind, that's perfect. And with somebody that is good with the words like Ab Soul, like, I think he fits on stuff like that. When he's in that bag, I am a total absol stain. So talk about some of the people that you're working with. I actually, when you all had popped on, I had just stopped playing the joint with Maxo Cream and BJ the Chicago Kid, which is again your
and Paul Wall,
right. Your music with those voices, it just matches. But tell us about some of the people that you have on the album and part of the feel of what you wanted to create with this project.
I was very intentional about who I was picking to work with on this album. I think that when you're when you're making the album, it's kind of hard to see, like, you know what you want to do, but once you start working on it, you get to a point where it's like you don't really know where you're going sometimes. Like, I think that you're just looking at a bunch of stuff you have. It's a bunch of, you're just throwing paint on the wall. And then it's like once you let go and kind of just create freely, you start to see what you're making. And then it's like a puzzle where it's like you got the outline border already locked in. Now you just got to fill in the middle. And then you already see what it is. And like, I like doing things that people don't normally gonna do. Like, I mean, I don't think anyone thought of putting Maxo and BJ on a song together.
No.
Or maybe they did, just never did it. And then, like Paul Wall, I again, this album is about your inner child, healing the inner child. And I mean, I love Paul Wall. I was in, I think I was a freshman in high school when Still Tipping came out or something. I remember that's my youth, like that's my Paul Wall, that's like those. So it's like, I was like, man, I always want to work with Paul Wall. And then it's so funny because like I thought of this like maybe like 2.5 years ago, and then he started having a resurgence, like doing he just started popping up more. And it was perfect timing. And it still trips me out, man, seeing some stuff that I had in my head like manifest, you know what I'm saying? Like
manifest.
Yeah, and it's like it's tangible. I can see it. And but I like doing that, man. I think the best producers, like the ones that have like the really good producers, got good taste. And they'll know how to put that here and put that there. And I could have put Paul Wall on any type of beat, but I'm trying to set him up to win and sound good. So I'm going to put him on something that I'm like, you know what? This is the tempo. I like him at. And he going to show up because his brain is going to automatically, I'm giving him, without telling him, I'm just kind of, you know what I mean?
All right. So, and if you hear these kids in the background, I end up having 2 more kids, you know what I'm saying? So I'll be playing, it'd be daddy daycare going on at the same time. But
I love it, bro.
Now let's talk about growing up in the crib, right? And one of the things that I had saw was Black and brown relations.
Yeah.
Which can, depending on where you from,
be
a double-edged sword.
Absolutely. You know, in Chicago, you know what it is.
Right.
It's all
but
politics.
But like one of my best friends is Mexican and brought me over on 26 in Kaminsky, and we had a good time. Don't know how I made it out that night.
You probably got to ask you was GD a couple times.
Well, no, I told him to tell everybody, including his family, that we coming. I got there. Oh, that's bang. All right, cool. But talk about that. Like, because I don't feel like that, while that's not a central piece, that is the part of the growing up don't grow up too soon. You had to navigate those waters to be safe. So why that?
Why that? Why is that like let's say Chicago, right? For example, I mean, why is they have to grow up too fast? I mean, depending where you grow up, again, like you got to pick a side. Who you gonna like? Who you gotta be cool with somebody. So, I got cousins that's one side, I got cousins the other side, and everybody cool. But I think that growing up in the city, you have to be at least adjacent, and not adjacent, but you gotta have somebody gotta look out for you. Yeah, somebody have your back. And I think for me also, man, like coming up in the city, bro, I wasn't on that type of time, but like I had friends in all types of, I had friends that was Blackstone and Foes and King, all type of things, and it's like. They knew I was just on music, so they knew I was like, and I would be in situations in studios with people that like grown men. I mean, at the time, 20 years old, people that's 10, 15 years older than me would be like, yo, you not scared to go over there? Like on 72nd and Halsted, I'm like, nah, bro, I'm out here doing something. And also I'm not green. I know how to move around. You feel me? Like I'm pulling up, I'm calling 2 minutes before I get there. Hey, come outside, come get me, because I'm not hanging around. You feel me? Like it's little things like that. But like, you start to realize as you get older that all that stuff is hyper it's like hypervigilance. It's like it's really a like a trauma response almost. To just always be like, what's that? What's this? Spin the block. You know what I mean? Okay, it's, you know what I mean? But that's what it is.
And that sounded like my session last week.
Yeah.
Family. Like, no, you is one of the things that I learned in healing my inner child is the fact that I'm always on a swivel.
Yeah.
And we grew up thinking that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You get older, you find out that ain't healthy. So what was the key for you? I say when doing this album, like I'm reading it and it says inspired by your childhood family influence, but healing your inner child. Like, what was that key moment for you on this project, or the song on this project that really fits to that sentence, that line right there?
I think what happened was, to be honest with you, it was after I won the first Grammy with Kanye. Okay. That year the Grammys were in Vegas. So I remember I flew my parents out because to me it was a big deal. It was my first time. And it's like you ending a lot of cycles. And also I'm first generation. So my parents came from Mexico, you know, when they came out to Chicago. So I'm the first one. And growing up in that family, in that structure, it's very like it's like almost like even like therapy is almost as like be looked as weakness because like what you've been through. I've been through worse. I ain't nothing. Or you crazy? You go to older ones, but if you go there, you crazy. And it's not what it is. You're trying to end cycles, and when I brought my parents over there, they seen what it was. You know, they knew it because I think growing up it was a little bit of a constant, like it was like a resistance. It was a struggle. It was almost like me trying to explain to them what I want to do and them not really understanding. I did get a little support. My mom always supported me because I think she was just like, man, she already knew what I was gonna do. You know, and what it is love. As you get older and you heal, you realize that your parents, they do want the best for you. And sometimes they gotta understand though, like, especially you coming to America, bro, you can be anything you want to be. Right. You know what I'm saying? And shit, you brought us here, so what's up? So that's what I wanted to do. And I think that once my parents saw that, they actually brought some tapes over because I had some archival tapes from that was part of the rollout.
Yeah.
And that was my first time seeing that since I was that age.
So that's actual.
Those are all those are all like clips from. There was only 3 tapes from my childhood, so those are the 3. And I pulled certain pieces that I like, but when I saw it, when I saw it for the first time, I did feel a little bit of like a sadness because I was like, damn, I don't remember that really. And then I saw it and it all came back, and you kind of forget about that person, but that person's still with you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's who you were. And I think to them it hit them a little different too, and they understood me a little. It all came full circle. So, because again, like shit, my dad came out here to do what he had to do. He made it happen. So I'm like, if I'm your son and I made it of you, what do you think I'm gonna do?
Gonna make it work.
I'll make it work, right? And it's like, and I sacrificed, and like how you said earlier, like we both left the city. When I left the city, bro, I sacrificed a lot just to get to where I'm at. Like sleeping on my homie's couches, sleeping in my car, sleeping in the studio. So ain't nothing was good, you know. But I never once said I want to quit. And I had $100 in my pocket. But ain't nobody had to know that because it's my business. But you feel me? Right. But like I'm gonna make it happen. But so it's like, and it's funny because people just be having perceptions, and you don't know what people be thinking. But that's not my business. My business is get my work done and get to where I need to get to. You feel me? But I never thought I wanted to quit because, bro, it's hard to make it in this. It's like a 1%. You feel me? It's like making it to the NBA. If you're making a living and you winning Grammys, you're doing all these things, that's like a 1%. You feel me? It ain't for everybody, man. If you want to quit, then you should quit. Because there's somebody that's willing to go through the things they need to go through to get to that point. You feel what I'm saying? And it's harsh, but it's real. Because now you're just taking no space. So it's like, nah, we don't want none of that. You need to get on, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I feel about that.
Man, so it's safe to say when we look at family influences, like your mom and pop is at the top of the list. You bring them the Grammys, you show them, man. Like and you talked about bringing them, and your mom always kind of like, yo, I'm with it with your dad. And I mean, my father's I guess you could say I'm first generation outside of Mississippi, but
yeah,
my father picked cotton and ran moonshine and all stuff like that. And he has that similar type of thing. Like, when you going to therapy, you ain't been through shit. I saw the plan. Plan chased me. What you talking about?
But so imagine if they went to therapy.
Man, I tell my father all the time. So so have you found yourself in some cases? I know it could be difficult. Have you found yourself in some cases being like your parents' therapist, like being able to hear them talk to you, and now you're able to help them in that way?
1000%. Yeah, you have more tools. That's all therapy is acquiring tools. Having more tools in your toolbox, so you know how to show up, how to respond, how to react, all those things. You feel me? And it's like and I actually put my therapist on that video. It's me and him having a session.
Okay.
And I just picked, whatever it was, 2 minutes of.
You recorded the session.
Yeah, I had him pull up to it was crazy because the first time I met him in person, we met during the pandemic, so we was doing all of our sessions through Zoom. And I had this idea. I was like, you know what? I'm doing this album about this and that. Like, part of the rollout, I want to just be honest, and I feel like people are gonna relate to it because everybody gonna relate to this. And I had him pull up to the crib, and we just did a session in the living room with the mics and everything. And he was cool with it, and I appreciate him a lot because he's definitely got me to this point. You feel me? And again, bro, it's a lot of things that as you get older and as you go through therapy, you realize that aren't normal. But that's cool though, man. We all works in progress, man. And we gotta, you feel me? And we have to evolve and do better. If not, we're not doing our job as humans. You feel me?
This album comes out on the 26th.
Yeah.
It already feels like you're relieved. It's not even about when the 26th happens. It already feels like it's a relief.
That's my baby, bro.
So that answers the question I was going to. Like, this has to feel like a very introspective but personal project. So this is like your baby.
Man, when it's art, man, it's a piece of you. So you gotta be willing to know that you're gonna put a piece of yourself out there and someone not gonna like it. And that's okay, because it's not for them, right? You know who you're making it for. But you gotta have that skin, you feel me, to understand that. And also for me, it's like, I mean, that's one side of it. And the other side of it is like, bro, there's levels to this, man. It's like, I know what I do and how good I'm at it. So it's like they gonna hear it and they gonna know what's up. I don't gotta say none. There's no self-proclaimed none over here. It's just you're gonna press play and you're gonna hear it and you're gonna know what's up. Cause you gotta let them know that, like, you gotta sometimes we gotta talk you feel me? You have to.
I'm learning.
Yeah, you feel me? I don't know if I can swear on here, but you gotta talk your shit, bro. And it's like you gotta talk your shit and without talking to sometimes. They know what's up. And they know exactly what it is. So it's like, I told them, yeah, man, get ready, get your shit together, because I'm dropping 26. And then it ain't nothing stopping this. So motherfucking Mack truck coming, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, it's one thing that I've learned in these last couple of weeks is I don't talk my shit enough. Yeah. So please talk your shit. I mean, you Grammy nominated, you Grammy award winning, multiple Grammys, multi-platinum. You definitely are in a lane where you could go ahead and talk your shit. So in doing that, what's next? Like, I'm one of those people that try to revel in a moment, but what's next? Like, what do you see next for you coming up?
I'm gonna keep putting out these producer albums, bro. I figured out a way to not have to play the game, because the game was already rigged from the start, and I don't want to participate in that janky business, and because we are in the janky business. So me and my partner Ty figured out a way. You know, Ty was the one that discovered Brent, and he set up a system to where everybody is gonna acquire equity, but also, we all share a piece of the pie, and it's all through, being independent, but truly independent. Because you got some independents that be claiming independent, but they move like majors, and they be hiding the numbers, they be padding the numbers, talking about, oh yeah, we spent this amount of money to make this project. So, because a lot of times you gotta stand behind that cost as a producer, and like for people that don't understand that, I mean, that's just like you have to stand behind something. You won't make money until that thing makes the money back. But you could say it costs whatever. I could say it costs $1 million to make this album, but the way you do, like, you could talk the talk, but you also got to put your money where your mouth is too. So like, and that's where how we do business and how I do business is not the norm. You feel me? Like, it's not normal. It's not, people are like, wait, you giving me this much, master? Like, yeah, you getting this, you getting that. That's how you should do it. It's enough for everybody, bro. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's super important for me, because I think that like I said, man, you gotta cut the head off the boogeyman, bro, because these people ain't even that smart and they broke. So like, they don't even, you know what I'm saying? So like, they can't like I said earlier, bro, it's like we figured it out. So it's like, what's next is I'm gonna keep finding new artists. I'm gonna keep getting behind them, because I think that I've proven that already throughout the years, that if I find somebody early, 3-4 years later, they're gonna be somebody, you know what I mean? They're gonna be doing their thing. So I don't know what that is. It could be my ear, it could be intuition, it could be, I don't know what it is, but it just is what it is.
Well,
so,
you've proven that your ear's good. Definitely put out some dope work. Of course, you have the awards and stuff to prove it. And this project, from what I'm hearing right now, is definitely something that you can vibe to and learn something to as well. Yeah. I think I've learned a lot during this conversation. You don't really get a chance to have conversations with people around therapy and everything, but also where we come from, these are just not necessarily conversations even outside of the therapy. This is not conversations that you normally have, so it just shows like the growth, bro.
And honestly, and also we gotta watch out for those people that be like saying they go to therapy and they just want to like show off the terminology, like,
oh man.
Words. And it's important to understand that you have to actually practice these things, and that's the whole point of you going to therapy, because you're spending money on it.
Using gaslighting and don't know what it means.
And they don't even know how to spell it, man. So it's like, look, know what you're talking about and practice what you're learning, because that's the whole reason why. It's like I'll be using this, like, it's like it's this chapter of this book, man. But it's basically it's called a garden. A garden is not for show, right? And it's like, if me and you both are neighbors, and you Bang got a garden, I got a garden, and I'm just growing my garden so I could throw pictures on Instagram, but you feeding your family off that garden. Who's really benefiting off that garden? You know what I'm saying? And it's like the same thing with this therapy stuff, bro. It's like, you could be talking all the lingo, but if you're not applying it to your life, and you just sound like you know what you're talking about, but you're not even doing it. So, it's important for that stuff, bro.
Well, look, man, it was a great conversation.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear the project in full once I'm done here. Actually, because once I'm done here, because that was what I was doing before we got on this call right here. So real quick, just pump the album right quick, and anything else.
Man, man, Don't Grow Up Too Soon dropping. I mean, it should drop 4/26 on Friday, and I think that I'm glad you brought up the whole thing about Absol too, because that was the person that I knew could deliver. Like, I needed to have one record on there that delivered the concept, the message, and I knew he was gonna do it. He nailed it. And but yeah, man, just enjoy the album, man. It's like I said, it's a dope. It's I don't know, but you gotta press play, bro. Hear that? You know what I'm saying? It's definitely, I think my signature sound is nostalgic, but still feels new. You know what I mean?
All right, well, look, man, JR Bang here at Black America Web. Make sure y'all check us out. Signing off. Bang. Peace.